Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of Mario's Gaming World. I hope you guys all had a fantastic week. I know that I most certainly did. On last week's episode, we discussed the basic business model, went over some tournaments, and had a couple other interesting pieces of conversation going on. This week, I have some new and exciting, refreshing content to share, and I'm hoping that you enjoy it. Now, before we get started, it is important to me that I take the time to say what I'm about to say to you. At the time of this present recording, it is Friday at around lunchtime, and my video, my first episode, has over 1,000 subscribers. That blows my mind. I was honestly speechless when it happened. I didn't know how to react. It was like a dream coming true. I don't know. It was fantastic. I have to thank Ruggles for getting all of you to me, and then I have to thank all of you for liking, commenting, subscribing. Honestly, it's nice to see that this channel seems to be rolling and getting off the ground. I can definitely understand when we say you shouldn't really do emotional takes like this because you are vulnerable and you don't know what's going to happen. But I'm legitimately happy about this, and it's really nice to see. So hopefully you guys can keep it going. You can refer this video to, maybe some friends, some people who are interested in maybe vending or running their own gaming shop, something like that, and they can find this information helpful to them or the content just enjoyable. And I got one more final thing before we actually get into the nitty-gritty of today's discussion. This shop, this place where people can come and play games is not a job. It's more of a hobby. It's me basically going from playing the game competitively to helping other people play the game competitively, or playing games competitively, not just Yu-Gi-Oh, but the others as well. There are other things I do outside of this place that make up my day-to-day, my living, that sort of thing. I don't consider this to be that. This is just a place where people can come and enjoy themselves. I can come and enjoy myself. I can relax from the world, take a deep breath, and just socialize with my friends and watch my friends just have fun and have a good time. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about this week's content. But first, I think we're going to do a box opening. I don't really have too much to offer in terms of what you're seeing here. Stores need to have inventory, so inventory is obtained. It's this type of inventory that is responsible for the regular churn and burn of keeping the shop healthy and alive. Yes! Now, I mentioned last week that we were going to start a little mini challenge or mini goal in this channel. Something to, keep it fresh, keep it alive, and it'll teach a very good financial lesson and maybe two important financial lessons, depending how you look at it, I guess. So we're going to call this challenge the $20 challenge. Now, the objective is rather simple. We're going to turn $20 into a lot more than $20, basically. This challenge has a little bit of nostalgia for me. This brings me back to my roots. I believe I first started attending Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals when I was 16 or 17, and my parents at the time didn't allow me to actually work. They wanted me to, go to school, get good grades, worry about getting into university, and that's it. Besides some cards that I bought with my allowance and some cards that I got from my parents over time, I didn't really have much in ways of a collection. When I started going to tournaments, my mother stepped me aside and said, "Here's $20, go get yourself some cards to play." But that $20, through getting cards, going to locals and winning, giving me store credit, and all of that ended up helping me build a collection over time. A lot of people have told me I don't have money. How am I supposed to get the good cards if I have no money? The point is to show that this is doable, it's practical. Anyone can do it with the right amount of experience, knowledge, and expertise. Now, I've spent a little bit of time thinking about what I wanted to turn the $20 into. Me being a sucker for really old cards, I think we're going to turn this $20 into a DDS Blue Eyes. Now, I'm not going to get into too much detail today about it, but when I do get the DDS Blue Eyes, I have conversation topics ready to go about what the DDS Blue Eyes entails in terms of a business. So until then, you guys are just going to come for the ride. You're going to watch us slowly turn this $20 into a DDS Blue Eyes, and I think it's going to be fun to see. Now, there are going to be some rules, because it's important to have rules in place. So the only two assets that are going to be involved with this challenge is cash and single cards. There's going to be no flipping of sealed product, accessories. That would be way too easy, and that wouldn't exactly be doable for the average person. What I want to do is spend the $20 on singles, sell them, buy some more singles, sell them, rinse and repeat until we have a DDS Blue Eyes. That's what the plan is. One final thing to note before we start the whole story here. I understand that I might be able to do this a little quicker because I can buy cards for, cheap and sell them at a lot more of a profit. That being said, it is not impossible to do this because I've done this in the past with cards. And I'm serious, anyone can do it. Might be a little bit slower, but that's fine. Now, without further ado, let's start the process. I started this challenge preemptively last week. With my $20, I spent 10 of it on a simple Monarch core, and I spent the other 10 on finishing that Monarch core, plus obtaining other singles for a side deck. So I flipped all these Monarch cards side deck to a newer player for $50, which is a reasonable price considering what was in the deck and the side deck. Something important to discuss when it comes to running a business is you can't have a business unless you have an item or items that people want to buy. It's very fundamental because if you start a business without it, if you have no one that wants to buy your products, you're not going to last. We're starting off strong with $50. Now we're just going to play it by ear and see what happens. Ideally, what I want to do is spend that $50 on singles that I know that people are going to buy sooner rather than later to keep this process going. Now, in terms of financial lessons, I have two that I want to discuss in this video. They're basic and they will help anyone that's looking to start this type of business or any really kind of business. The first thing you have to do is something called asset management. Assets being things like cash, and in this case, single cards, sealed product, snacks, sleeves, binders. I just want to open up the hypothetical situation. Let's say, what if the only singles I was selling for a while were for the DDS Blue Eyes challenge? That's not a very good idea. The reason for that is because I'm taking some of the main churn and burn away from the business. I have a whole display case here of singles that I would like to sell. and those singles are the ones that keep it going. Not right now the DDS Blue Eyes Challenge. Over time, yes, it's money that's going to be spent and eventually, in the long run, sold. But until then, we can't place too much emphasis on it. The second thing I want to discuss, which is a bit of a tangent, but important, is cash flow management. You need to have a healthy amount of cash for any business. You need cash to pay for rent, utilities, inventory, and anything else that you can think of. Obviously, you're going to want to save some cash for buying cards. So if you don't have a healthy amount of cash flow, you're not going to be able to maybe buy a collection, or someone might come in with a first edition base set Shadowless Charizard that you really might want to buy because it's a really good investment idea, and then you're like, well, I can't because I have no cash, sorry. I don't believe that's the right way to do things. I believe that you need to have your idea of what you want to buy, and you need to make sure you have a significant amount of cash to pay for basically inventory. You have to go and get other bank loans or sell some things really aggressively to make up that cash flow again. So just please keep an eye on your cash flow when you're running any business. I think that's enough rambling for me for right now. So let's just keep the show going, shall we? We got some work to do today, let me tell you. We're on our way to Trenton today to go buy some cards. One of the card players let me know that he needs to sell some of his cards, his decks and collection. Unfortunately, he has some bills he has to pay. So I can understand that. I feel bad when this kind of thing happens to the card players, because they obviously work really hard to get the cards in the first place. But then life happens, and then there you go. It's happened to me, so I get it. The way I'm looking at this is a win-win-win for all parties involved. This card player is going to get some money for his cards, so he can get through this phase of his life. I'm going to get some cards, so I can, fund the store. And hopefully I'm also going to get some cards that I can use to boost up my DDS Blue Eyes Challenge. That would be really ideal. While I'm driving around, might as well have this conversation now. I really enjoy the idea of buying large portions of collections, or just collections in general. Collections are a great way to get a lot of cards and to get them at a good price, which is going to make the store a little more profitable when everything's all said and done. What better place to conduct business in Canada, eh? I won't go into too much detail at this point in time and how much I spent on this collection. That being said, it's still going to end up a profit, which I'm not really concerned about at all. However, for the DDS Blue Eyes Challenge, we did spend $50 on 3 evenly matched and 3 card of demise. So now the next goal is obviously to sell those as soon as possible so we can continue moving along. Now, I had no issues finding a buyer for the card of demise because I knew that someone was looking for 3 and desperately needed them for a deck. So it was an easy sale. The evenly matched, however, I had a feeling people wanted them in the back of my brain somewhere, but I didn't know who. So I put a general message in our chat, and sure enough, we got a response, and those evenlies are going to be sold soon. With that being said, I think it's time to enjoy the week a little bit, and head over to the girlfriends, and just have a good time.
I have no sex. They won't let me. They say it on the credit store. I am.
So instead of starting filming, I just took a picture. So that's awkward. Oh, look, a person.
Holden's here.
What?
How on earth do I zoom in?
Oh, yeah.
This is how you start a business, guys. You just get cards from these. You just roll them on the table.
Oh, I have a cane. I can hit you with it.
Yeah. Ryan, don't let forget it.
I had $5 French.
That took a while to say though.
What time do you want it? These are all the right sides. And I got a prismatic.
I got you a Storm Dragon's return.
He actually got a prismatic?
What?
No way!
Get in the camera. Show it. Camera.
First prismatic pulled in Mario's shop.
What were you looking at?
I'd have to double check.
Why did they?
This tournament has 13 players, which is 4 rounds of top 4. Another excellent turnout for the community. I'll go ahead and post the deck lists just like last time. Take your guess in the comments as to what decks made the top 4, and you'll find out if you're right or not.
It's good. What's that do?
It's Rhoda.
Yep.
Or a double summon.
In response to special summon of two.
Activate attack for 2450. Special? That's a lot.
I can stop.
4 again?
Yeah.
So you
Like what? It's okay. I'm a big brain.
Every time I tried to do it against Holden, he was like, you can't do that yet. You don't have timing on that yet. You can't do that right now. Shh. Why not? Because he had apparently.
So the tournament went well. The top 4, for anyone who was wondering, was Pure Sky Striker, Striker Trains, Striker Orchest, and Grand Maju. And in the end, the Sky Striker Orchest deck took first place. So, great job to Ganon for that. But the tournament wasn't over at that, no. Regionals is next week, Saturday the 18th. So, some of us stayed back and play tested for it. Now, I'm not participating in the regionals, but I do think it's important as a shopkeeper and a friend to help others with their endeavors, and that's what I'm all about. So I stayed back and helped some people learn, obviously. So after 3 to 4 hours of playtesting and a lot of pizza, we decided to call it a night at around 3:30. Admittedly, some of us didn't want to go home at that time, but we were pretty fried, and it was definitely the best idea at that point. Sunday's tournament, you didn't miss too much. Again, it was 4 rounds, which is great, and nothing really exciting happened, just playing, sales, and that's it. Before I wrap up the video today, I want to make one more shout out to all of you. At the time of this recording, we've hit over 2,000 subscribers, and I am thrilled. That's excellent. And let's see that pattern continue on. Next week, we have the official grand opening of the store on Friday, and we have regionals on Saturday. So it's going to be a pretty busy weekend, but it's going to be exciting, and I look forward to sharing this experience with all of you. If you happen to be at the Scarborough Regionals, come say hi to me, come say hi to Ruggles, the Belleville peeps, and we'll just have a good time together. So, again, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you later.